Did you know the premiere of Brewster McCloud was almost as dramatic as the movie itself? Imagine this. The film's debut was overshadowed by a bizarre incident that left everyone stunned. But here's the kicker. It wasn't just a minor hiccup. This disaster actually became part of the film's legacy, making its premiere one of the most unforgettable in Hollywood history. Want to know what happened? Stick around, because this story is wilder than you'd expect. So, you're watching Brewster McCloud, and the opening credits roll by. You see the MGM logo, the Adler Phillips Lionsgate production credit, and the film's title twice. You might think, oops, editing mistake? But hold on, because Robert Altman is too clever for that. What seems like a repeat is actually a sly joke tied to the story. Remember Daphne Heap, the eccentric character who demands the band stop playing and repeat the fanfare in the right key. That's exactly what's happening here. The critics read her because the music does, and Altman uses it to set the tone for the quirky, offbeat world of the film. It's a subtle detail, but once you catch it, it's impossible to unsee. Altman's humor shines through, reminding us that even the smallest moments can be packed with meaning. So next time you watch, keep an eye out for this clever little trick. It's a perfect example of Altman's unique style. So, picture this. The premiere of Brewster McCloud was supposed to be a huge event, right? I mean, it was held at the Houston Astrodome, a massive venue that could fit thousands. And fit thousands it did. Over 23,000 people showed up on December 5, 1970, making it one of the biggest movie premieres of its time. But here's the kicker, it was a total disaster. Despite the massive turnout, the sound was so bad that it completely ruined the experience. Imagine trying to watch a movie with 23,000 other people and you can barely hear what's going on. Talk about a letdown. And get this, Harris County Judge Roy Hofheinz, who ran the Astrodome back then, had this wild idea to sell tickets for cars to drive in and watch the movie. When that didn't work out, VIPs ended up sitting in folding chairs on the field. It was chaos, but in a way it kind of fits the quirky vibe of the film. So, while the premiere might not have gone as planned, it definitely added to the legend of Brewster McCloud. Now let's talk about Shelley Duvall's big break. Did you know that Brewster McCloud was her very first film? Yep, this quirky movie marked the start of her acting career. And she even got an introducing credit, which is pretty cool. But here's where it gets even more interesting. This wasn't just a one-off gig for her. Brewster McCloud kicked off an incredible partnership with director Robert Altman. They ended up working together on 7 films, from McCabe and Mrs. Miller to 3 Women, and even Popeye. Duvall became a staple in Altman's cinematic world. It's wild to think that it all started with this oddball movie about a guy who wants to fly. So, next time you watch Brewster McCloud, keep an eye out for Duvall's debut performance. It's the beginning of something truly special. Now, let's dive into one of the most playful moments in Brewster McCloud, Sally Kellerman's fountain scene. Remember her iconic role in MASH, 1970? Well, this scene is a cheeky nod to that famous humiliation moment. In Brewster McCloud, Sally bathes in Houston's Mekong fountain and feigns surprise into the camera, giving us a hilarious parody of her earlier work. It's like Robert Altman and the team said, let's take this moment everyone knows and loves and give it a quirky twist. And it works perfectly, adding a layer of humor that's both nostalgic and fresh. This kind of meta humor was ahead of its time, making the scene not just funny, but also a clever wink to fans of Sally's career. It's these little details that make Brewster McCloud such a standout film, always keeping you on your toes and smiling. All right, let's talk about the title of Brewster McCloud for a second. Did you know it was originally supposed to be called Brewster McCloud's Amazing Sexy Flying Machine? Yeah, seriously. Can you imagine walking into a theater and seeing that on the marquee? It's a mouthful, but it definitely grabs your attention, right? The original title gives you a hint of the quirky, offbeat vibe the movie's going for. It's like the filmmakers were saying, hey, this isn't your typical film. Buckle up for something wild. Thankfully, they shortened it, but it's fun to think about how that longer title might have shaped the way we perceive the movie today. It's a little reminder that even the smallest details, like a title, can say a lot about a film's personality. So, next time you watch Brewster McCloud, just imagine that original title flashing across the screen. It's a whole new layer of fun. Alright, let's talk about the license plates in Brewster McCloud. They're not just random numbers and letters. Turns out they're all bird references tying into the movie's quirky themes. For example, Abraham Wright's plate reads, OL 180, Suzanne Davis has DUV 2022, and Louise's plate is Bria DSHT, even dead, latent. Frank Shaft's plate, DODO 86, is a nod to the daughter bird. And here's the kicker. Suzanne's car is a Plymouth Roadrunner, which, you guessed it, is named after a bird. It's these little details that make Brewster McCloud such a delight to watch. The filmmakers clearly had a blast weaving these subtle bird references into the story, adding an extra layer of fun for eagle-eyed viewers. So, next time you watch, keep an eye out for those plates. They're more than just background noise. Alright, let's dive into another quirky tidbit about Brewster McCloud. Did you know that the casting director, Gary Chasen, actually ended up playing the camera store clerk himself? Yeah, it's true. Chasen was having a tough time finding someone to fill the role, and in a pinch, he decided to step in front of the camera. It's one of those behind-the-scenes moments that adds a layer of charm to the film. You've gotta love how these things happen in movie making. It's like the universe just steps in to make it work. And honestly, it's a fun reminder that sometimes the best person for the job is the one already in the room. So next time you watch Brewster McCloud, keep an eye out for Chasen's cameo. It's a blink and you'll miss it moment, but it's definitely worth catching. Speaking of quirky moments in Brewster McCloud, did you know that William Wyndham did the only nude scene of his entire career in this film? Yeah, it's true. Towards the end of the movie, his character, Haskell Weeks, is seen in a hot tub, and let's just say he's not wearing a swimsuit. This moment actually made national news at the time, which just goes to show how much of a big deal it was. It's wild to think that something like this could grab headlines back then, but hey, it's Brewster McCloud. Expect the unexpected. And let's be honest, it's a pretty bold move for any actor, especially in a film as unique as this one. So, next time you're watching, keep an eye out for that scene, and remember, it's not just a random moment, it's a piece of trivia history. Alright, let's talk about one of the coolest locations in Brewster McCloud, the Astroworld theme park. Remember when Brewster and Suzanne sneak into the Lost World River adventure? Well, that ride had quite the journey after the film. In 1976, it was renamed the River of No Return, and by 1983, it was officially decommissioned. But that's not all. Astroworld itself, part of the Six Flags family, closed its gates for good on October 31, 2005, and the entire park was demolished in February 2006. It's wild to think that a place so vibrant and full of life in the movie is now just a memory. It really adds a layer of nostalgia to those scenes, doesn't it? Show scene from movie, and hey, if you're ever feeling sentimental, just remember Brewster's Adventures live on, even if the park doesn't. Now, let's dive into some behind-the-scenes magic of Brewster McCloud. Did you know that Brian McKay did a ton of uncredited rewriting for the film? Yeah, it's true. McKay's contributions were huge, but he didn't get the official nod in the credits. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Director Robert Altman and the actors were constantly improvising on set, often at the last minute. This kind of spontaneity was pretty typical for Altman, and it's part of what gives the movie its unique off-the-cuff charm. Imagine the actors coming up with lines on the spot, adding that extra layer of unpredictability to the story. It's like they were all flying by the seat of their pants, just like Brewster himself. This blend of McKay's rewrites and Altman's improvisational style really shaped the film's quirky, unpredictable vibe. So, next time you watch it, remember, A lot of what you're seeing was crafted in the moment, making Brewster McCloud even more of a one-of-a-kind experience. So, we've talked about the Astroworld theme park and the behind-the-scenes rewriting, but let's wrap up with one of the most intriguing moments in Brewster McCloud. The film ends with this wild circus sequence in the Houston Astrodome, where all the main cast members show up as performers. It's a total visual feast, and everyone's face is on full display except for Margaret Hamilton's. Here's the twist. Someone's wearing her costume from the film, but their face is completely covered by an American flag. It's like this subtle hint that maybe Hamilton wasn't available for this particular scene. It's such a quirky detail that leaves you wondering about the story behind it, and honestly, it just adds to the film's charm, this odd, almost surreal ending that keeps you guessing. It's the kind of moment that makes Brewster McCloud so uniquely memorable. Speaking of debuts, did you know that Brewster McCloud marked the very first film appearance for Marilyn Burns? That's right. Before she became a horror icon with her role in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Burns got her start right here in Altman's quirky comedy. It's pretty cool to think about how this film launched her career, even though her role here was smaller compared to what came later. It just goes to show how one project can be the stepping stone to something much bigger. And while Burns might not have had a ton of screen time in Brewster McCloud, her presence adds a layer of intrigue to the film's already eclectic cast. It's like spotting a future star in their earliest moments, a fun little Easter egg for movie buffs. Now, if you're a fan of Robert Altman's work, you'll notice something pretty cool about Brewster McCloud. The film is like a reunion of Altman's ensemble regulars. Shelley Duvall, Bud Cort, and Sally Kellerman all make appearances, and they're just the tip of the iceberg. Michael Murphy, Renee Arbor-Noyes, John Schuck, and Burt Remsen are also part of the mix. It's like Altman gathered his favorite actors for one big, quirky project. This isn't just a random casting choice. Altman was known for his tight-knit group of collaborators, and Brewster McCloud is a perfect example of that. It's fascinating to see how these actors bring their unique energy to the film, making it feel like a family affair. And let's not forget, this was a time when Altman was really defining his style, so having his regulars on board added that signature Altman touch. It's like watching a master at work, surrounded by his trusted crew. So, next time you watch Brewster McCloud, keep an eye out for these familiar faces. It's a fun game of spot the Altman regular. Now, here's a fun fact that ties Brewster McCloud to Robert Altman's broader career. This quirky film was actually the first feature produced by Altman's own production company, Lionsgate Films. Yep, you heard that right. After the massive success of MASH in 1970, Altman decided to take the reins and form his own studio to have more creative control. And Brewster McCloud was the very first project to come out of that venture. It's pretty cool to think about how this offbeat movie marked the beginning of Altman's independent filmmaking journey. Plus, it's a testament to his confidence in the project. He wasn't just playing it safe after MASH, he was diving headfirst into something totally unique. So, next time you watch Brewster McCloud, remember, you're not just seeing a weird and wonderful film, you're witnessing the start of a whole new chapter in Altman's career. Did you know that Robert Altman originally planned to set Brewster McCloud in a New York airport? Yeah, it's true. Altman had this vision of a bustling airport as the backdrop for Brewster's quirky story. But here's the twist. The film ended up being shot entirely in Houston, Texas, with the Astrodome taking center stage instead. It's fascinating to think about how different the vibe of the movie might have been if it had stuck to that original airport setting. Imagine Brewster's wings and eccentricities unfolding amidst the chaos of a New York terminal. Still, the Houston backdrop gave the film its unique, almost surreal feel, which is part of its charm. It just goes to show how a change in location can completely transform a story. So, next time you watch Brewster McCloud, picture it in an airport and see if it feels like a whole new movie. So, there you have it. Brewster McCloud isn't just a quirky cult classic, it's also a milestone in Robert Altman's career. Did you know this was the first film produced by his own company, Lionsgate Films? Yeah, it's a big deal. And get this, Altman originally wanted to set the whole thing in a New York airport. Can you imagine? Talk about a wild ride. Whether you're a die-hard Altman fan or just love offbeat cinema, Brewster McCloud is a must-watch. So, what are you waiting for? Dive into this feathered frenzy and see why it's still flying high today.